Today, I'm going to be talking about Keith Lee and how he was exposed a while back. If you don't know who Keith Lee is, he is a pro MMA fighter with a record of 8-5 who got extremely popular on TikTok for reviewing small food spots in Las Vegas where he lives. If you watch MMA or UFC, you might think that name sounds familiar, and it's because he's the little brother of now retired UFC fighter Kevin Lee, aka the Motown Phenom, who was fighting in the UFC for nearly 10 years, going up against people like Charles Oliveira, aka Du Bronx, Rafael Dos Anjos, and Tony Ferguson, aka El Cucuy. Also, an update for people who know of Kevin Lee and was wondering what he's doing now since his retirement. He just recently got married a month or two ago, but besides that, I have no idea what else has been going on. He doesn't really post much. But to go on, Keith Lee would get food from these places in Las Vegas that were kind of small or didn't have much business or were new, then review that place on TikTok. His reviews got super popular, so popular in fact that the businesses he reviews now get so much attention and support that there are people waiting in lines to try the food, especially right after the review is posted. His TikTok account ended up growing very fast and rapidly. He is, at the time of writing this, near 14 million followers on TikTok and averaging at least over 1 million views, sometimes getting tens of millions of views on each video. He's collaborated with places like Chipotle and even collaborated with Mr. Beast, who, by the way, associates with the scammer Logan Paul. But to go on, even a man who does food reviews can do wrong, as Keith Lee got exposed 2 months ago. This all starts with now UFC champion Sean Strickland talking about Keith Lee on his podcast, The Man Dance, with Chris Curtis, which is another UFC fighter. Sean Strickland explains his experience talking to Keith Lee and what went down while Sean Strickland was in the gym with him. And here's the clip of Sean Strickland talking about it.
Then I did the same thing 2 minutes
I
later.
can't stand his racist little brother, Keith Lee. So wait, let me give you guys. If you guys don't know who this guy is, and I'm sad. It saddens me that I know who Keith Lee is, but apparently he's like a TikToker. He's a food critic.
Dude, no, he's gotten very, very big on
Motherfucker probably makes more money than me pandering these. So anyways, dude, let me tell you, I just got to go into the story how much I hate Kevin Lee.
I believe you hate Keith. Keith is like.
And this also comes down to how Kurt is like a fair weather friend.
This is all right. So
this is a factual, true story. So Keith
First
Lee,
of all, anytime Sean says a factual, true story, there's some embellishments and like completely.
So Keith Lee, am I like not talking to the microphone?
Yeah, talking.
God, Miguel, be better at your job, dude. I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Just move the microphone.
This is why we don't pay. This is why we don't pay you.
You can move the microphone.
Yeah, I see what happened with you. Anyways. Okay, my dude. All right, there we go. It's in my mouth. It's in my mouth. Does that make you happy, Miguel?
You called me autistic.
So back to my story about brother. So he comes up to me and he was like pretty much like he tried to like talk to me about like race. Like he tried to have like this racial systematic oppression. I'm
Mistake
like,
number one.
And again, like I don't disagree, man. Like, you know, when you're only removed from slavery like by 100+ years, like that's a hard hole to climb out of. I don't disagree with that. But I'm not trying to have this debate in the gym. I'm trying to spar. So he comes up to me, he starts accusing me of like being racist. Like I'm like, what are we doing here, dude? Like if I was racist, I'm the most honest there.
Was this when we were running, or was this by the lockers in the back?
This was by like this was just in the
yeah.
But like I'm the most honest there is, dude. If I wanted dudes, if I hated black people, I'll be the first one to tell you guys. So anyways, what I tell him.
Did y'all catch that Freudian slip right there?
What?
You were like, if I wanted to dudes, and I'm like,
No, I'm just saying if I wanted to do these things, I would tell you. I'm honest. I'm sadly to fault. It sucks, man. I'm telling you. I incriminated myself once or twice talking to cops. But anyways, so he comes up to me, and anytime you're talking to somebody racist, and I know this because I used to be a little racist. Anytime you're talking to someone racist and you want to like really piss them off, you just got to talk about the sex of whatever the race of whatever they are. So I'm like, yo, Lee, I'm not racist. I more black women than you have, bro. How am I racist? And I said that just to piss him off. I said that just to make him mad. And I'm like, bro, just relax, dude. I know you got a little white woman at home. Chill the fuck out, right? And I'm just like, I'm kind of poking him, but I'm doing it funny. And he goes, nah, fuck that. I don't like white people. Mind you, Kurt is sitting right next to me. Jason Manley, another black guy, sitting right next to me. And they just sit there silent as his racist is telling his dislike for white people.
First of all,
and this is a true story, gun to my head.
It's
a true story. But let me tell you right now. If I'm in the gym and a white guy comes in the gym and he was like, nah, man, I don't like black people. I'd be like, what the f*** are you doing here? Like I might hit the guy. So when I say Kurt is a fair weather friend, I mean, you didn't stick up for me there, Kurt. Kind of shield are you?
This is not the conversation. Oh, I wish I would remember this conversation better. I just remember you being like, what the f-? And I'm just like, well, this is dumb. I don't know why we're having this conversation.
I would 100%, if there was a white guy that came there and said that about you, I mean, obviously you'd hit the guy. But no, you wouldn't hit the guy.
No, I don't care.
Civil. You're civil. You're breaking stereotypes.
No, you can like be. I don't like black people. Like, cool, bro. Like, I don't like black people sometimes too. I don't like white people sometimes too.
No,
like
but it was just, again, you had an opportunity to step up and defend my honor. You didn't do it.
Why would I defend your honor?
And this is why we're not on the casting
couch.
Why would I defend your honor? We have a table between us. Anyways,
I'm gonna take out my sword and be like, I challenge you.
Let's talk about.
So from what it said, Keith Lee is in the gym and just starts talking to Sean Strickland about race, for whatever reason. And then at some point says he doesn't like white people or something around that. I don't really understand why Keith Lee would want to talk about race while in the gym in the first place. It just seems really weird to me. This all seems like weird behavior from Keith Lee that I could honestly see him doing. This whole situation got around on TikTok and Twitter, and people were even commenting about it on Keith Lee's TikToks. And the search feature on TikTok in the comments section would have something about Keith Lee and Sean Strickland in the search recommendation. So Keith Lee ended up responding to all this. Here is that video.
I've received a week straight of false allegations, negative comments, and negative backlash for something that I didn't do. Let's talk about it.
I can't stand his racist little brother, Keith Lee. So wait, let me give you guys don't know who this guy is. And I'm sad. It saddens me that I know who Keith Lee is, but apparently he's like a TikToker. He's a food critic. So anyways, let me tell you, I just got to go into the story how much I hate Kevin Lee.
I don't believe you hate Keith.
So he comes up to me and he was like pretty much like he tried to like talk to me about like race. Like he tried to have like this racial systematic oppression.
Yes, me and Sean had a conversation. No, this conversation didn't go anything how he depicted it. Sean Strickland is an MMA fighter who is known for saying divisive things. We had disagreements prior to the situation, but nothing that couldn't have been settled with a conversation. So at the point of this conversation, we were gym partners. I walked up to him and two people who I consider friends having a conversation after practice. I joined the conversation, and the conversation happened to be already on race. In the beginning of this conversation, it was not only intelligent, but it was productive. One thing led to another, and Sean said this.
And anytime you're talking to somebody racist, and I know this because I used to be a little racist. Anytime you're talking to someone racist and you want to like really piss them off, you just got to talk about the sex of whatever the race of whatever they are. So I'm like, yo, Lee, I'm not racist. I black women than you have, bro. How am I racist? And I'm like, bro, just relax, dude. I know you got a little white woman at home. Right? And I'm just like, I'm kind of poking him, but I'm doing it funny.
I never found the humor in any of those comments. He then spun my words into saying what he said I said.
And he goes, nah, yeah, I don't like white people.
Never at one point did I say I don't like anybody. I simply disagree with what he said, and instead of fighting ignorance with ignorance, I said, no, I'm happily married with children, and I'm very proud of the family that God has allowed me to build. I also immediately disagreed with all of the ignorant and distasteful comments that he made, and I no longer was interested in entertaining the conversation, which the conversation itself ended very shortly after that. And again, I ignored a week and a half full of backlash. I don't have any bad feelings or wish anything ill against Sean Strickland. I just want this cleared up, because that's not what I stand on, and that's not what I said. The only reason I'm responding to this at all is because it's spinning into a narrative that's completely false. I've debated a week straight on whether I should respond to this or not, or give this any kind of attention. But it has not only begun to affect me, but my family financially and mentally. I've blocked over 1,000 people and deleted thousands of comments that were degrading me and coming at my personal character. But false things like this are not only detrimental to me, but also can potentially deter potential brands that would like to reach out to me and my family. On top of deterring people who have no idea who I am and are just discovering me for the first time, want to join our community. And it's unfair to me and my family to miss out on opportunities that can change our lives based on lies. It was on 6 different videos that was completely unrelated, and it was the head search. On top of that, this goes completely against what I stand on as a person. My actions speak louder than my words, and I've been blessed enough to be in a position to be a marketing platform for business and business owners of all races. Sean claimed to have 2 witnesses of me saying this. I called both of those witnesses today, and we had a conversation. I told both of them that I was recording and I will post it. For that conversation that I had with Sean Strickland.
Yes, I remember it quite well.
Do you remember me saying I don't like white people?
No, you did not say that.
Thank you.
So that's Sean. He's he's gonna antagonize, but I don't think. I think if you actually spoke to him directly about it now that he's not on the podcast or whatever, he would probably acknowledge that. Oh yeah, you didn't say that. I was just kind of,
But we have argued about this. Even on the podcast, we talked about it. I was like, bro, I don't remember that being the entire conversation.
Did you ever hear me say I don't like white people?
Yeah, but I was like, I don't recall this. He's like, you were right there. I know you all had a conversation about racism. I don't think this is how this conversation went.
And again, this conversation that we talked about happened over a year ago. I haven't actively been at the gym all year, so they have no reason to lie on my behalf. It's just the situation didn't go how he depicted, and I appreciate both of them being honest and standing up for what's true. In this last week, TikTok has slowly shifted to something that's not very enjoyable for me, and I don't like that. TikTok has been one of my safe havens and one of the places I come to connect with my community. At the end of the day, I just want to return back to that, eat food, take care of my family, and continue to be the person that God has called me to be for not only myself, my family, and my community. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe.
To be completely honest with you, I don't like the response at all. It reminds me of Pyrocynical making jokes while responding to the allegations he has, which I talked about in my last video, which is on Pyrocynical, by the way. Make sure to go check it out. He is an awful person. But in this situation, instead of making jokes, he does his weird editing style where he does extreme up-close clips of his face, which I would guess is to keep his low attention span having TikTok viewers on the video so the video does better. To be honest, his up-close face thing that he does is really annoying, obnoxious, and in a way snarky. During a response video making jokes, which I know he didn't do in this situation, but I'm just saying, and editing it like how he does just seems weird and distasteful, and immediately makes me think that you're most likely in the wrong. And to be honest, I think Keith Lee lied in this situation. I think now that he is a mainstream person, he has to be on that line as much as possible. And that means you can't have stuff like this spreading around. Although I didn't really think people cared about... Never mind, I'm not going to say that. Also, with the setting this was in, this could have easily been said. Like, come on. They were in an MMA gym. You're going to say a lot in there. Some wild things are going to be said for sure. Keith Lee in this situation gains everything from lying, as he is a bigger content creator and people will just believe him without even thinking or looking into it, as a lot of people just don't think for themselves. So he could just easily lie and people will go with it. And why would Sean Strickland lie about this? In the clip, he's not even in a joking way trying to mess with him or anything. He's being completely serious on the video. So you know he is not joking about this, as we've seen before how he acts whenever he's joking and whenever he's serious, and in this situation he is serious. One of the people on the phone in this situation is Chris Curtis from My Guess, as the voice matches, and they have a podcast together, and that's what was talked about while on the phone. And as Chris Curtis says himself in the podcast clip and on the phone, he doesn't really recall the conversation. So why call him and why put this in? Sean Strickland responds to the TikTok via Twitter saying this. With a screenshot of the response video, he says, "I made a food critic upset. LMAO. Bro, you eat Cheetos for a living. Relax. I'm married to a beautiful black woman. Yes, and right before that, you said, nah, I don't like white people. Again, it doesn't matter. LMAO. Keep eating your sushi." And then there is a thread of tweets that says this. It's a quote tweet from someone saying he really defensive for the sponsors, which is also something that I just thought about. He brings up like the money that was lost because Sean Strickland said all this. So again, that's another thing he has to gain whenever he responds to this is the money, not just public opinion. But to go on, Sean Strickland quote tweets this comment saying, "Real talk, lucky for me, I don't get sponsors. I just think I pushed his buttons and he let the bigotry slip. Man, we all have done it. I don't even blame him for saying that. I blame him for being a liar and a coward." A guy comments under it saying, "Ha ha ha, I do actually like Keith Lee, but I 100% believe you. There isn't any reason for you to lie, and while I don't agree with everything you say or every opinion you have, I can absolutely imagine Keith Lee dropping the white voice and talking some back to you, LOL." Sean Strickland replies saying, "Gun to my head, he said it and it's okay. Plus, I only lie to people I'm trying to have sex with. Same."
Game is game.
A person makes a comment under that tweet saying, "You gonna address the part where he called the people who were claimed to witness it and no one has been able to corroborate your story? Yet the self-admitted former racist is supposed to be believed on this topic. Sean Strickland replies to that comment saying, "I'd say they're cowards, lol. If the next podcast doesn't set the record straight, I'll forever address them as Coward 1 and Coward 2, but I think the truth will come out." Then the last tweet here is, "There's a small chance that Kevin Lee might come to Las Vegas next week to defend his brother's honor. No rules, no time limit, no criminal prosecution. I don't normally feel this level of joy. Man, I haven't cried in years, but it's happening. Thank you, Keith Lee." Sadly, it's been over 2 months, and there hasn't been a new podcast episode yet to explain everything like Sean Strickland said would happen. But to be fair, he has had to train for his fight against Izzy, and him and Chris Curtis were a week apart on different fight cards. But since Sean Strickland just fought and Chris Curtis's fight just got canceled, maybe we'll get an update soon. It really sucks, as I don't like leaving stuff on a cliffhanger like this. But when there is an update on this situation, whenever that will be, I will most likely cover it. That's another reason why I'm making this video now, is just to kind of have this out and let people know about what Keith Lee has done. But where Sean Strickland is pretty confident about this, I'm pretty confident he is right too. And the new podcast episode could take forever to come out. So besides waiting months on this, I just want to go ahead and talk about it now and then come back to this again later. Sean Strickland seems to be pretty serious about this and apparently can get people who lied to tell the truth. He did say before Chris Curtis has a bias towards the Lees. Maybe Chris Curtis was just trying to defend them a little bit while also trying to stay on Sean Strickland's side as well. Also, from what I understand, Kevin Lee never went to Las Vegas and nothing happened or has been said about this since. I can only imagine how Keith Lee felt when Sean Strickland beat Izzy Adesanya. Bro probably sat there like just so disappointed. He probably is so mad about that still. But in the end, I feel like Keith Lee lied and got away with it. At the moment, we have to wait for Sean Strickland to respond via his podcast or maybe on Twitter. Who knows when any of that is coming out, but I have some questions though for the viewers and just in general. If you think Keith Lee is telling the truth, why would Sean Strickland lie and be so serious about this? What does he gain from lying? There's a good difference from when he's trolling and serious, and it's clear he was serious in this situation. Maybe the next podcast episode will be out soon, and I can possibly update y'all about this, but maybe it's months from now. We'll just have to see. Let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments down below. I might make a poll on my community tab in the next day or so you all can vote if he's lying or not. In the end, we know who would win a fight. So, I think Keith Lee should keep his about even record, loud chewing mouth shut. Stick to trying to fight Mr. Beast for some easy pickings and trying to pad up your record. He'd get destroyed by the UFC GOAT, Sean Strickland. If you don't know what I'm talking about with Mr. Beast and Keith Lee fighting, Keith Lee made a TikTok after Mr. Beast was like having training and such and talking about fighting. And Keith Lee was like, "Oh, let me fight him." But also, Logan Paul is a scammer. Why is Mr. Beast openly posting with him, especially after all that's been exposed? It's really weird to me and just makes me lose more and more respect for him. But thank you all for watching and the support. If you're watching this far in, thank you so much. Truly. It does really mean a lot. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. The money made from this video will be going towards buying some full violence Sean Strickland shirts. I'm not kidding. They are complete fire, please. Like, I love them so much. I really want some. More videos will be soon, but in the end, I'm PERK30, and...
In conclusion, is the perfect example of what zero pussy does to a motherfucker.
Here we go. It's better.
You need to shut the up.
Gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score this contest 49-46 for the winner by unanimous decision and